Rihanna has upset a lot of people by using a song that features some hadith in a lingerie fashion show. Oh, what can we
Hi
say
guys.
about that, Mac? Other than
Hi.
what a bad idea.
First of all, hi guys, and let me just turn my TV off. Sorry.
Yeah, no
Um,
problem. Turn us down.
yeah. The Hadith is not that I'm quite familiar with it, but I had a little brush, and it was about the end times, and
Okay, interesting.
yeah, and apparently it was a Hadith of a famous Quran reciter,
Hmm.
and they kind of speeded that up and played, I think, on a lingerie sort of.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right. I've got the quote here. So this was featured. It was somebody reciting it. So there's a copyright issue to begin with,
that's one.
and
Yeah.
and then there's the offensive issue. Narrated Abu Huraira. This is the English translation, obviously. The Prophet said, "The hour, last day, will not be established until religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of religious learned men. Earthquakes will be, time will pass quickly, afflictions will appear, murders will increase, and money will overflow amongst you." Hadith number 85, volume 1. So that could mean many things. I mean, does it matter which hadith it was? It's wrong no matter what, isn't it, for Rihanna to use a hadith in a song
Well,
at a lingerie event?
I mean, she was dating a Saudi playboy as well
Was she?
for a while. Yeah,
You
she
must
was.
read Heat magazine, Mac. You keep up with all the latest gossip.
It's gossip. Well, it's
Sorry,
general
news,
knowledge.
current affairs. It's general knowledge who Rihanna's dating. Who was she dating?
I don't know. I don't know the
we,
playboy, but I just
we
know
should
it was
read it in your column.
I should
You,
do a
you,
blog about it.
you sound like a jealous man.
No,
But
no, no.
anyway, who's this guy that she was going
It
out
was a
with?
Saudi. I don't know, one of the prince. Obviously, he's a billionaire. She's a millionaire. So it
Billionaire,
was,
wow.
yeah,
One of the world's richest billionaires.
of Saudi.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, from Saudi Arabia. Okay, so obviously we are assuming that a lot of people are upset about this. Are you upset about it? Does it offend you?
Well, to be honest, I mean, as a not practicing Muslim, but if I was, say, for example, as a well, we don't. I don't think we follow the same hadith.
Wrong. You're okay. Wrong Islam. You're not going to be offended about it.
Well, first of all, now we're on the topic. I'd like to mention this
Mhm.
Arba'in. It's the 40th day of Imam Hussein. So today's right now there's over 20 to 40, well, usually, maybe not during the corona, but usually 20 to
Mhm.
40 million going to Karbala from Najaf, walking to Karbala. But
Wow.
so those type of Muslims, I don't think would be offended.
Mhm.
Not really. But then again, you
Should
putting
anyone be, if this has been done unintentionally by mistake and Rihanna has
no,
apologized,
I
should
don't think
anyone
it's,
be offended at all?
well, it's not well, I mean, putting on the lingerie thing, it's in itself disrespectful, but
But it's by mistake. Or are
the
you
and
accusing Rihanna of knowingly doing this, having it as a good publicity stunt? We're even talking about it on this show. We wouldn't normally discuss Rihanna, so she's probably happy about that. And then saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
well, I've heard, first of all, she's a satanist.
Have you?
So yeah, and even through her works, I mean, one of the major things that I've heard was the Umbrella song, if you remember.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Umbrella, Ella, Ella.
Classic.
She's got everyone saying La, Ella, Ella, and that's in Hebrew. Ella means, as you know, God.
God, yeah. The equivalent
And
of Allah.
yeah, even
Right.
so she's got people around the world singing Umbrella, Ella, 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 and she said basically it's a Satan doing his work, saying that there is no God, whereas you're meant to say that there is a God.
Now, do you really think that Rihanna as young and naive as she was back then, I think that was 2007, remember it well, did she have any comprehension that her lyrics could be misconstrued as saying there's no God in Hebrew?
The thing is, it goes back to Kabbalah. That's the Kabbalic teachings. And when it comes to music, they will work on the Kabbalic. I mean, it goes again back to
who will, Matt? Aleister Crowley.
The industry,
still around?
The industry. Yeah, I told you, it's the fundamental basis of whether it be.
Well, Give Peace a Chance has made a great point. She doesn't write her own songs. So even if this does have a satanic message behind it, Rihanna is not to blame, no?
Well, whether she's to blame or not, she's willing to sing it. She's willing to partake on.
But if she's doing so unwittingly, is there any blame on her? I think even the Quran mentions that there's no blame on people that are ignorant, if they don't know what they're doing. And even Jesus said, apparently, on the cross, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. If someone doesn't realize what they're doing, it's not their fault, is it? Or do we have a responsibility to be informed? Should I make sure I know exactly what it is I'm saying if someone puts lyrics in front of me or gives me a remix? I believe David Beckham once received some fan mail and ended up wearing a t-shirt with a picture of the Führer's grandfather on it. Now, how he would have any clue who that was, I don't know, but I guess you've got to be careful. Grandfather, I think it was. We have to look it up. But you see, you've got to be careful when you receive fan mail. I always get someone else to open mine. Not my wife. Rihanna has sold her soul to the devil. The devil is devaluing you. Yeah.
I think it's not A, it's D-I.
That's okay. We don't mind about spelling or grammar on this show. Someone called me a grammar Nazi the other day, but they put Nazi with a lowercase n.
There's nothing wrong. But there's nothing wrong with correcting. You know what? I would correct them and say, listen, first of all, it's with a capital N.
Oh, well, that's what I'd say. But let's correct Rihanna. What is the correct response to Rihanna, who apparently sold her soul to the devil? I wonder for how much.
Well, whether it will be the Muslims will have something to say about this or not, it will be more down to the people, even or why would the people that actually the event, the planners, the promoters, why aren't they held more responsible? Because I'm sure she's not the one that decides to go with Hadith. They're the ones that are planning this. So it really
I'm sure it happened. I'm pretty sure it happened unwittingly, and isn't the best thing to do is say, hey, you know what? But thank you for apologizing. Thank you for understanding why this would be offensive. And if you believe that God works in mysterious ways, I don't know if that's a Islamic doctrine of faith, but I've heard people say it, then doesn't God send you signs? Maybe God wanted many people to hear this hadith, which is a saying attributed to the Prophet. It's not in any way canonical, if I can use that word. The hadith does not supersede the Quran in any way. These are just sayings attributed to the Prophet. Some are more reliable than others. I don't know how reliable this one is, but there it is. It's in a religious book, and it's saying time will pass quickly, afflictions will appear, murders will increase, and money will overflow amongst you. Maybe relating to inflation, you can have hundreds of pounds and it doesn't buy you anything anymore. You know, if you've listened to your dad or your granddad, he'll say £5 was a lot of money in my day. So maybe this is an indication of inflation. Isn't this great that we've all had the chance to see this? Most people that would never ever want to read a hadith are, because they are interested in other things, have stumbled across it because Rihanna put it in her song by mistake. I mean, there are no mistakes. If everything is written, there are no mistakes, are there? It was meant to be.
my dad, first of all, my dad used to say, if everyone does or says something, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, 33X is saying guy on the right sold himself to the devil. I don't know which is the right or the left.
Is he talking about me?
But you know who we are, so you can say us by name. People come on here and pretend like this is the first time they've watched the show.
They're trying to distance themselves.
Has been a fan since day
Why
one.
do you
the guy on
elaborate
on the right? And wouldn't it be the guy on the left? I thought the left was sinistra. That's
exactly
Latin.
The right is
Latin for the left is sinister. Estra, sinister. So the left hand and all that nonsense. Bill Fenton saying good point, and that's a good point that you made, Bill. It is a good point. Livewire is saying Rihanna is awesome. Okay, fair enough. Tell us why, Livewire. You're welcome to join us in the chat if you click the link in the description.
Well, I think
we'll have you on.
He's referring to her song. There's one I think she did called "Rude Boy."
Oh yeah, you like that one, do you?
No. Well, the funny thing is, I'll be honest. When Umbrella came out, I never liked it, and every time it was cringing to even hear. But I don't know.
We heard it a lot.
And I used to hear it. I used to get so fed up with it. But people like it.
Yeah, they love it.
2-year-old. You got 2-year-olds saying lie. You understand? You're implanting that from. I've seen like 5-year-olds running around singing the Rihanna song.
Maybe, but isn't it the case often that these, for example, females will burst onto the scene, and at first it's quite innocent, it's quite friendly. That might get children following them and being fans of them, and then gradually the tracks become less family friendly, less age appropriate, but it's too late because they're already on the bandwagon. I'm thinking also of Ariana Grande. I mean, some of her lyrics are really inappropriate for your younger fans, but
audience,
many children do like to attend the concerts and whatnot.
Wait, is that Moby Dick?
Mikhail is saying Moby used a hadith in one of his albums. And okay, and so
Dick?
what?
Is that Moby Dick?
I don't mean to be rude, Moby.
No, I'm asking.
Mac is asking, is it Moby Dick? Moby is an artist I'm familiar with.
The skinhead one.
Yeah, shaved head.
Yeah, I know Moby.
But
actually, the one.
So it's been done before. It's been done before, and I don't recall anything in the news about it regarding Moby. So is it because Rihanna did it at a lingerie event? Is it because it's a woman doing it? Is it because it's Rihanna? Why is it okay when Moby did it? And it's not even that Rihanna did it, it's the artist that she sampled did it, and Rihanna has unwittingly used it. And Mikhail is elaborating the Moby, the techno singer, or DJ techno artist.
Right here, right now. That was a song that was a song I think he was referring to. Right here, right now, because it talks about the creation.
No, that's Fatboy Slim, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Right here, right now, right here.
Wasn't that Moby? Okay.
I could be wrong. Someone tell us in the chat. Now, I wanted to talk to you about censorship, Mac, and if you don't mind me bringing up your family, you've got film producers in the family, right?
Yeah, my father being a filmmaker in Iran.
Okay.
And then in his films, he would have scenes with whether it's music or it wouldn't be a hijabi film because it was the Shah's time.
It was pre-1979.
Exactly.
So overnight, his films went out the window. Presumably, they became illegal.
Well, no, they became classics, but nowadays it's not the same. Like they would have a scene where the man would be in a bed, like how you would if they wanted to show that their love scene, they would show a quick snippet, for example. But he's had films with those sort of bits in it, so that kind of put someone on the iffy. Like they were, as I said, they were calling him Savak, writing on the wall saying that you're pro-Shah.
Savak being the secret police in Iran.
Yeah,
Wow.
but obviously now, to be honest with you, censorship it only started when the revolution happened, and I mean, do you know about the Chinese credit system?
No, we'll come back to that. I just want to point out that Moshe Abdo is saying he speaks 5 languages and mistakes can happen. We apologize for mocking the spelling. Moshe, my goodness, I make many mistakes and I speak
No,
one language
mashallah.
badly.
Well done.
Hey, I'd love to know what the 5 languages are.
Impressive.
Maybe you could teach us something.
Of course. We're trying to learn. As I said, I'm trying to learn Hebrew as well.
Yeah,
as I said, there's nothing wrong with learning different language.
How are you learning Hebrew, Mac? From a book, from audio? What are you doing?
YouTube. Basically, you can actually YouTube.
There you go.
And the Aleph and Bet from, because they have Aleph and they have Bet. That's where you get alphabet.
Yes,
the word
that's right.
Alphabet comes from. But then they got Gimel. They got Dalet. They got. I mean, I can't remember in the order, but I'm learning, trying to learn, as I said. But I'm still early stages.
Superb, man. Keep it going. Keep it going. Another of the people that have been censored recently, well, not censored, but a backlash again for causing offence, was J.K. Rowling, who had a character in a book who was a transvestite and also a murderer, and for that reason, a lot of people were up in arms about it. And I think we have to be consistent in this, because some of the people that are very, very eager to defend different sexual lifestyles, LGBTQ, and the rest of it, might be very critical of religions, and we could include most religions in this, that are against homosexual practices.
There's gay churches, though. There's gay churches.
Well, there are. I'm sure there's gay imams. There's everything, but in general.
No, actually, what I mean is, there's a church that they would marry to gay people as well in the church. They have the ceremony, the whole 9 yards. That's what I meant. But can I just ask you something? Now, let me give you a comparison about whether or not Rihanna is offensive or not. Imagine having the Old Testament or Genesis or part of the one of the lines that Jesus said, "Oh, it will be like a grown." And imagine that was put into a song in a lingerie scene.
How would you like that?
How would that be offensive to? I mean, at the end of the day, the Bible, we still believe in the Old Testament, New Testament. So, it's the same equivalent. Imagine having but the weirdest part is, why would you have the Hadith that talks about the end times? Time is flying, money amongst you is flowing, and relentless. Like, it's a bit weird that they're playing it. I don't know. It just seems odd to me.
Mikhail is saying, in the Moby album Play, written inside his album cover was a hadith about the treatment of animals, but I'm sure he referenced it as a positive, so no controversy. Yeah, with all these things, is it not the intention behind it? But what do we do when it's something like Charlie Hebdo, who is deliberately attempting to provoke and offend? And to be fair, that publication tried to offend everybody. It's not like they particularly pick on one, I don't think, but some Muslim people felt so offended that they took revenge, apparently. What's the right response when someone deliberately abuses your religion?
Well, peaceful protest would probably be the best civilized way of doing it. Like, but if you recall, what country was it where they did the picture of the Prophet Muhammad, and then they went in and shot up all the.
That was Charlie Hebdo.
What country
that was in France in Charlie Hebdo.
That was the same. Yeah.
I believe so.
Charlie Hebdo. Sorry. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, if that, I can't justify what he did. If Muslims don't do it, and you gotta respect if they're not doing it. But then again, you gotta say he can't be. Why would killing him is extreme. He should have been at least prosecuted or fined, or you see what I mean? Not. What they did was utterly un-Islamic. Islamically, you would protest it. You'd protest it. There was protests everywhere.
There are many versions of Islam, Mac. I think decent people, the majority of Muslims, would respond the way you said.
The problem is
it only takes one to do it, and that's it, isn't it?
History has one problem. You can go to Alexander's library. They've been trying to burn other people's books. This is one bad trait that we have, is burning books. It's unnecessary, and we've been doing it throughout time. Whether it be, as I said to you, nowadays they want to burn the Quran, as you've seen. There was right. So,
yeah.
Ironically,
I've heard that burning a Quran is one of the acceptable methods for doing away with a Quran that is expired, rather than throwing it in the bin. An honourable way to dispose of it is to burn it, but you'd have to speak to a scholar about that.
I've heard you either bury it, because it disintegrates. What's the word?
Disintegrates is biodegradable.
It could. It is paper, made from paper anyway. So you're meant to, I think, put it in water until you can. The words itself are holy. You're meant to. I think you're meant to bury
as we know, even if every single copy of the Quran was burnt, it would be back again tomorrow. Masay Abdel is saying, thanks, bro. Dutch, French, Arabic, English, and Berber. That's brilliant. And which was the hardest to learn from scratch? I'm guessing that Berber and Arabic are your native languages if you're North African. Yeah. There's give peace a chance in the waiting room, but how do we know it's really them?
If it's give a peace a chance, it's him.
Yeah.
That's your. It's a normal.
Shall we risk it? Do we risk it?
Yeah, but just be ready quick with the dial, innit? Just
all right. Let's see.
Finger on the trigger.
Let's see what they've got. I wonder, will we regret it?
Look, I even unmasked my camera, which I wouldn't really do.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I wanted to add to the Charlie Hebdo discussion.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Because I've looked quite a lot into it. So 37% of the publication that published Charlie Hebdo was owned by Eduardo. Then 1 month before, they then acquired, I think it was a 70% share in Charlie Hebdo. Not Charlie Hebdo. So Charlie Hebdo was published by, I think it was a publication called The Liberation. They then bought like a massive share in the publication just a month before, which sounds awful like coincidental, right? Then what happened? So then that happened. Then the person that was filming the shootings, right, was on top of a house, on top of a roof that was owned by someone whose best friend is in like is he works for the French equivalent of like MI6. So
Okay.
how did someone get on?
Well, we can't, judge people by who their mates are. I remember when the Panama Papers came out, one of the billionaires in there was apparently mates with Vladimir Putin, and that was publicized in a way to rubbish Vladimir Putin. But spell it out. This is a conspiracy theory, I take it.
No, I don't believe in conspiracy theories.
Okay.
I suspect.
What are you saying happened? What are you suspicious of? Give peace.
Right.
By the way, just to interrupt, Jordan M and Salam Alaikum Jordan M is saying burning the Quran is halal, is a halal way, bury at sea are other options. That's what I thought. But he's modestly adding, I believe. Yeah. Well, I believe you, Jordan M. Sorry, Give Peace. Back to what you were alleging happened around the Charlie Hebdo case.
So, being mates with like someone who's mates with who's in the security agency, right?
Right.
So it's this multi-millionaire, right? It's a private roof, right? How do you get onto a private roof and be in the exact like time and the exact like place to have the perfect vantage point to film it? So it's not just being a mate; it's being.
All right. As long as they weren't dancing and waving lighters, and there was 5 of them, then
exactly
probably did happen. Look, we would need evidence to back all this up. You have injected an interesting hot burning coal into the fire there.
It would
I
be
guess
a
we'll never
coincidence if there was no coincidences.
Yes, it would be more of a coincidence if there were no coincidences. And even if this was a false flag attack, there are idiots out there that would do it anyway. So I don't think you'd need a false flag, because we know that there are head-chopping lunatics heading to Syria and Iraq. But I'm not saying false flags don't happen. I could reel off a bunch of false flags that turned out to be false flags, and that's on record. I'll start with. No, I won't start with any of them, actually.
Weapon of mass destruction.
There you go. There's a good one. The last Charlie, this is from 33X. The last Charlie Hebdo front cover before the controversy edition was of somebody attacking young kids, and that was taken down. Okay. Is that a traditional past how you wear it? Okay, we've got it light-hearted.
I've got long hair, and I've
good for you. Give peace.
Shall I hoodie up?
Yeah, good for you.
Look, I'm wearing orange too, man. I like orange as well.
Do you? What do you like about orange? I'm thinking of going all turquoise.
Sorry?
As I said, everything I got is orange.
Nice.
There you go, orange. Whatever happened to Orange Wednesday? Now, what is it about orange? As we were on the tangent.
It's warming colour.
So do you know why the sky is blue?
That's a good question.
But they say it's a reflection of the sea, which I don't think it is.
Is it not the other way around? Go on. Why is the sky blue?
I don't know.
So you've got like the visible light spectrum, and it goes from red to blue, okay? And that's the visible light spectrum. So blue is like right on the other end of the spectrum, and then you've got so like red is like orange is like red with a bit of like white light mixed in with it, and that's why you were
with a prism. Are you talking about the light that comes out from a prism?
That's it, yeah. So that shows you like the visible light spectrum, and so blue is like the most like it's like the least relaxing like light to have on in like a room, and like so if you have like a blue light on, you just won't get to sleep very well. So like red's like on the other end of the spectrum, and it's I used to grow some plants, right? Like just like a hobby.
Say no more.
Say no more.
And the red light is the one for like flowering. So like, and it's actually comes out a bit more like it's a bit more like an orange because it's got white light mixed in with it. And so like I
Wow.
was like, oh, why don't I just wear like orange because it's like supposed to be like the most like therapeutic color to wear. So I wear like orange. Yeah.
It is.
Wonderful.
I mean, the
Wonderful. You're an
Shaolin
orange. Bill
monks.
Fence is describing you as an orange man. That's something
Oh,
in Irish culture that would make you a Protestant member
but
of a fraternity.
doesn't the Shaolin monks wear orange as well?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
As well
Yeah,
as
that's right. They do.
inmates from in America as well.
That's right. Yeah, Guantanamo. In most languages, Portugal is the
You say
word
it
for
as well.
orange. Yeah,
Yeah,
Portugali.
Portugal.
Same in Arabic, in Persian. Give peace. Do you speak any other languages?
I'm still. I don't. No.
No. Oh, you nearly speak something. What do you dabble in?
I was just gonna say like unless you like, I've thought about learning language. I bought like a book in French, right? And I thought if I just read it, like, but then no, I don't speak any languages because you've got to be able to think in that language, haven't you?
They do say that's the idea. You've got to stop yourself translating. I mean, I speak Arabic very badly. I've been learning bits of it for years. And when I've been in the Middle East, after about a week or two, week and a half,
You get used to it.
I start to notice that I'm thinking a little bit in Arabic and saying things without mentally rehearsing it. But you have to really get into it.
Mac,
Bill Fence is saying,
why are you learning Hebrew?
It's another language, and well, it's. I mean, to be honest with you, I find it fascinating. Like, because the language, I know slightly Arabic. I speak Persian, and obviously there's no Aramaic. I mean, I could, but I prefer to. Well, an existing language is Israeli. So
Aramaic is existing, by the way, in the town of Malula,
Syria,
where I visited in Syria. The language is alive and well, the language of Jesus. And I heard the Lord's Prayer uttered in Aramaic, as it would have been.
So when you're speaking, you say you speak Arabic.
Persian. I'm initially Persian, but I speak. What are you talking about, Julian?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. But you as well. Yeah, you as well.
That's Mac in the middle, by the way.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. I don't like addressing people by their names, right, until they've introduced me by their names, because I always feel like I'm being over familiar. Do you know what I mean?
No. By all means,
no
I'm
problem.
Mac.
Sorry. I'm Julian, and we're calling you Give Peace a Chance because that's how you presented yourself. But how would you like to be addressed?
You can call me
J or M or P. I don't know.
Call me D. Yeah, you can call me
D. All right, D.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll go with that. What was your question to me about Arabic?
So, are you a bit slow in your Arabic then? When you said you go to Syria and you try to...
I've been to Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, a few areas, and I'm slow. I mean, I'm probably Borat's level of English is my level of Arabic, but I like to make the effort. I can make myself understood. I could probably say most things that I would want to say really badly, and I would probably understand probably about a third of what's said to me if you would speak to me slowly. But I can get by, and I enjoy the experience. Bill Fence is saying, do you dream in Arabic? Very occasionally, yes. I will have dreams where I'm speaking in Arabic or someone speaking.
I don't even
Arabic
have Persian dreams.
Not anymore.
I don't have no Persian dreams. I'm being serious. When it's all in English, I don't know why. It's funny that point that you just made is very interesting because I've never had any dreams in Farsi. It's weird. It's really weird that you mentioned that. I've never had a dream in Farsi.
Well, tonight's the night, Mac. You're going to have a Persian nightmare. I remember in school when they made us read that poetry anthology, there was a poem called Losing My Tongue, and it's about a Gujarati woman raised in the UK, and she's ashamed that she's losing her language. But when she dreams, it comes back, and she's fluent in Gujarati, and the words were transliterated. And we were reading this poem, and I had no idea what I was saying. Bill Fence is saying you can learn in your dreams. Apparently, yeah, maybe you probably can.
Someone told me, my cousin's wife, and she's a credible person. Like she goes,
credible or incredible?
Well, both now, because honestly,
it's funny how credible and incredible are both positive things. But
no, but I give her the credit. Like if I know she wouldn't lie, but she said she had a dream about painting, and she woke up next day and she was able to, like, honestly.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and the walls were blue.
No. She was able to start painting and picturing, and she was an artist. She had a dream.
It's not like the dream when you go into the toilet and you wake. Oh no, never mind.
I think dreams, that what they do is they help you process like what you've been thinking
during the day.
Yeah. Make sense of it all.
The thing is, the reason why I disagree with that is because Edgar Cayce used to go in a state, in a state of sleep, and he used to prophesize, not only prophesize but also tell you what's wrong with you, kind of what they call remote viewing. Like, and the thing is, he'd never been to any medical. He'd never had any medical background, but he would wake up and then medically tell you what like with doctor's language, like what's wrong with you and what kind of. And he cured a lot. Edgar Cayce, as I've said, he's very, very, very big, and he was in the early 1940s or 30s or something.
Wow.
So look into him. Like this is where and KRS-One, Fifth Dimension. I mean, when you close your eyes, this is what I'm saying. When you close your eyes, where is that place? That place again is where the reality is. So whether this is what the point I'm so when you're sleeping or you're awake, you're in that inner self. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. You're in a state of, you're not attached to this world anymore. You're not seeing the 3D world anymore. You're not like, time doesn't mean anything to you because you're asleep. Your mind's gone. See what I mean? You're in a trance. That's the word. You're in a trance.
Go on. They say when you sleep, your brain produces dimethyltryptamine. Have you heard of DMT?
DMT.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ayahuasca. Yeah. And that's where you start. Yeah. It's possible. It is possible that we do produce that. But that's what they say. The moment when you die is the same chemical release that you see, like your afterlife.
Yeah.
But I've experienced out of a body experience. You know that I've had a out of the body experience, whatever they want to call it. Near. Like I was one time. I was about. All I remember is seeing myself get hit by a car, go on the bonnet, and the car stopped, and then I see myself thrown off. But this is the thing: as soon as the car hit me, I felt someone just hold my hand and drag me, and I watched myself. And then as soon as I opened my eyes, I was back in my body. I can't explain it, but this has happened to me. So
during the day?
This was during a day. Yeah. I can't explain it. Till this day, I really can't explain it. And this is where I've tried to look into. Now, there are cases about out of the body experiences and people do remote viewings and stuff like that. But by the way, going back to the topic, what's your opinion or take on Rihanna and using Islamic? They regard it as a high Hadith, an important literature.
So Rihanna's just really like the marketing tool for like so she is on Jay-Z's label, isn't she?
Yeah.
So he's just marketing her. So he's just doing it for money. She's generally just doing it for money. It's really who's like you've got the singer-songwriters, and so it's really.
Have you heard of the Boulets?
Isn't it?
The Boulay Masonic Boulets, the Black Masonic.
Yeah, Because I didn't know what the original topic was about. I think I joined like 8 minutes in, so I'd have to actually like
We're talking about Rihanna. Rihanna playing a whole. Well, it's not. It's a reference to the end of times, and she had a lingerie show, and she was playing music in the background with that being played at the same time.
Oh, okay,
and
so
it was
it's not
kind
like
of
an actual song of hers. Got you. Okay.
No, it was a religious guy reciting a kind of a literature that they to do with the end times. Well, in my opinion, then.
Waiting in the waiting room, we've got 33X, but you need to turn your camera on 33X to prove that it's you.
Read Persian.
So we don't get derailed. Yeah, is that good advice, Mac?
Good advice. I like that. I like that thought. That amazing, Bill. You're an amazing guy. You do come out with amazing things.
Have you seen that episode of The Simpsons where Homer tries to subconsciously stop eating, but they send him the wrong audio tape? He's meant to listen to it overnight, and he gets the vocabulary booster. So he's getting fatter than ever, but he's using all this eloquent language while he's at it, which is nice. So 33X is not turning his camera on. That makes me think that it's an imposter 33X or a false flag, because anyone can put their name as anything. And that would be the way to do it, wouldn't it?
So do you know where the term false flag came from?
Offhand, I don't.
So I think it goes back to when they first had ships where you had the sails, and what they would do is they would approach the enemy ship with like a friendly sail on, so it would have the same flag of the other of like the same country, and then just as they got close enough to be able to attack, they dropped the flag.
Wow.
So like they were lower them in.
Who was the first to do that, or what era are we talking? The British Navy? Who did it?
God, I don't know off the top of my head.
Pirates probably.
In the 16th century.
Yeah.
It was originated. The term false flag was originated in the 16th century.
Oh, there we got Google Mac on it.
Have you got your phone? Have you?
Yeah, that's cheating. We want it from the knowledge.
That's true.
Off the top of your head.
Off the dome.
Can confirm.
Google's like the hard drive, isn't it? It's like an external hard drive that no other species of animals had access to.
That's right.
I'm used to
Max advertising.
Google Home.
Yeah. Yeah, so they'll log all your conversations with that. I don't know, man.
What am I saying? What am I doing? I might be listening to like random stuff, but
it's not necessarily what you're doing. It's how they'll influence what you're thinking. Because then
I see what you're saying. Yeah, but bro, you're gonna get that with your phone. Like right now, you sign up as soon as you.
I have a tablet, and I only use it when I'm in my room, and then so like I never have a phone, I never have anything like that. So like I suppose a tablet is a bit like a phone, but yeah.
Well, why do you choose not to?
I think a phone's a bit of an addiction, really. Like they're constantly on hand. You're constantly looking at it. You're so like out of tune with like what's going on. So I prefer not to like go around with a phone. So I've got a tablet which like I use as like a computer, and then it's just like a lot more liberating, and like you get more in tune with everything else.
Wow. So by restricting yourself, you've actually liberated yourself.
Well, is it a restriction?
Well, you say you make sure you don't have your phone with you because you could be on it all
freedom.
the time.
It's a form of freedom because he's not tied down to like check my profile, update my profile. He's free. Yeah. He's hassle free from all of that, and his phone can't break down. He don't care because he can't. Do you understand? My dad was actually before, because my dad passed away way before internet became on the phones. My dad was alive when 1-to-1 was out.
We're taking a risk. We've got 33X. I hope he doesn't do anything ridiculous.
No. You seem
How's
sensible.
it going?
33
Seems sensible. Yeah, there he is.
What do
you make of?
Or I replied to a comment of yours, and you said there was who was the person you said grasped on Julian Assange?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's there's like a couple of I think there's about 33X's out there. So that was not me. I'm not sure who that was. But
it wasn't
I've noticed.
This is the thing about the internet. People can say anything and then deny it. That's why I'm not going to let people come on here anymore without showing their face.
No,
because if you come in on here in a balaclava, you've got something to hide. So I'm very appreciative of our friend D for coming on, and you 33X. But stop lying to us. Stop conning the public. That's what you're doing. You're conning the public.
I think even
just say it. Just admit it. Admit it. Say, I just wanted to say something. I had nothing to say, but I said everything. Admit it. You'll feel free. You'll feel liberated if you take off the mask, literally and figuratively, and stop this charade. There's loads of 33Xs. What you mean is, I want to be able to say anything and not be held account for what I'm saying.
Well, explain this then. How is it that when I'm on the live chat, some other geezer named 33X is also on the
it's
live
not like
chat?
you've got a tablet in one hand and a phone in the other. We've just spoken about that. I've got tons of accounts on here. When this one gets deleted, I'll be straight back up with another one.
I can type something. I can type something. I can type something.
I want you to speak about dreams if I can.
I bet you would. Sorry, Mac wanted to say something, and D I think had a point to make as well. We'll get you in.
No, go for it. Go for it. Go. No.
Wait, D, did you want to take 33X, whatever you call yourself these days? Did you want to point anything out to him?
Oh no! What about dreams?
No, that's right. We're still giving him a hard time.
Let me
go on. 33X.
We'll get back. Thanks. So about I think about 17 years ago, I had this dream. Very vividly, I recall it because it was so bizarre. At the time, I was driving. I was at a particular spot.
You fell asleep at the wheel.
No, not particularly. It was more like I was in a dream. As I was driving, I don't think I was actually driving at the time. I never had that car. So many things came true, like the exact car that I bought maybe 7 years later, the person that I was with, that I was discussing regarding another person who wasn't even born yet, who was born like 7 years later. And
it's not called deja vu.
Well, not to that extent, because how could I be? There's like 10. Deja vu would imply one thing, or you just get the feeling you were there. If like 10 things happen at the same time, and then you kind of relive it 10 years later at that spot.
But did that dream cause you to seek out situations like this subconsciously?
No.
And you bought the car because of the dream.
But then I was with the person. But then the person that was born, I obviously would not have any. Real.
Come on.
Well, not only attachments, but I wouldn't have much.
Who has a dream so vivid that they remember 7 years later? Oh wait, you look like
every single
person I had a dream about one random night of the year.
Well, it was one of those dreams, I guess, that's so vivid because it made no sense whatsoever. But I recalled it because of its maybe ridiculousness, and I can remember asking the person that I was with in the car, "Oh, who is that person?" And that person was born 10 years later. I wouldn't have known their name. I had no control over picking their name.
When you say that person was born 10 years later,
subconsciously you might have known.
No, if I know subconsciously what's going to happen 10 years later, then I wish it was the lottery numbers.
This goes back to my argument with Edgar Casey. He was able to tap in to this trance, like he was in a sleep trance state, and he was able to tap into this information. Now, whether it be, as you say, future information, or whether it be information that they wanted about now, or a health of a person, but he was able to tap in his sleep to have the same exact thing. To, like I said, he prophesized the Dead Sea Scrolls, and if it wasn't for him, then we would have never known.
How did he prophesy the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Well,
I've got to hear this.
Well, it's one of them things that he had a vision in his sleep, and he was able to guide people.
Oh.
And I mean, I can't elaborate on how he went,
problem.
but it could be the same. As I said, it could be Triple X. It's the same as you could have tapped into the same thing as he did and seen to your future.
Is the Dead
Dreams.
Sea Red Sea?
Sorry,
The Dead Sea is not the Red Sea. No, different.
No,
different
it's-
ball game.
it's by Israel, isn't it? It's where Sodom and Gomorrah used to be.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing will grow there. The ancient city of Jericho,
No, it's a salt.
or
It's a salty
Ariha.
sea.
It's
a
very
sea.
salty. It's so salty you cannot sink in it. You lie back like that and you float. I've been
what's
there.
the biblical? Isn't there like a Red Sea in the Bible?
The Red Sea is between
Egypt.
Egypt and the Holy Land, and this is what was parted by Moses or Musa
That's it.
as he crossed the Red Sea into leading the Israelites
where's
out
that
of
now?
Egypt into the
Where's
Promised
the-
Land. It's between Sinai, Mount Sinai, the Sinai
Okay.
Peninsula, and Egypt.
Oh, okay.
It's between Africa and Asia. Egypt is a transcontinental country, by the way. Fun fact.
Once you've learnt Hebrew, Mac, I'll be interested to know if the Red Sea was translated incorrectly, and actually if it was the Sea of Reeds.
The
Could
Reed
be.
Sea. That's interesting. But that would
No,
only make sense in English, wouldn't it?
No, the Sea of Reeds, because like apparently I've heard it could have been mistranslated from the Sea of Reeds to the Red Sea, and then it's been the story's taken on a different meaning.
You
But-
could well be right. You could well be
I'm not
right.
sure.
And would the Sea of Reeds suggest that it was a shallow, marshy land that you could
Yeah.
wade through, rather than having to
Yeah.
split it all together?
Yeah.
There you go.
And the water would have
plausible.
evaporated, gone
Mm.
down, and then they went through. And I wonder if it was.
So
it
read
could have-
as in READ, you mean, yeah?
No,
Is it
R-E-E-D.
like, I don't know how you
Grasses.
spell it. It's reeds. Like you get like reeds. They're like thin stems with like those brown tops on them. That's
Like
a
you've
reed.
got
Isn't it?
on your clarinet as a reed instrument or a saxophone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be REED, I think.
I believe it
Goodness
would.
said.
Yeah.
Goodness said.
Don't quote me on that. Yeah, who knows what some of these stories might have been exaggerations of, or things that got misconstrued.
Yeah.
But 33X, anything to add? We interrupted you earlier and pushed you
No,
out.
no,
Sorry.
No. On the contrary, that's absolutely fine. Regarding the sea departing as it did it
Yeah.
really depart, or did it
Parting or
become,
departing? You've
I
got
guess,
parting and you've got departing.
He's talking about when you hit the staff.
Where's your cutoff point?
He hit the staff against the sea.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be parting, but I think departing could it work? I'm not sure, but either way, it was parting. With
The
parting
departing
ways.
of the Red Sea. Yeah, I mean, that makes more sense. Maybe that's the mistake. It wasn't parting, it was just departing.
Yeah.
When the tide goes out.
Was it lessening, or was the tide, as you rightly said, was the tide going out, or did it just lessen? Did the water lessen in that region or that section that Moses perhaps was crossing? Did it literally just move apart? And they
I'm
walked
reminded of one of George Bush's great quotes when he's saying it's easy to see a tide turn.
Well, okay, now
butchers it.
you do know in the Quran there's one miracle that it's about the water barriers in between the different seas.
The salt water and the
difference
the sweet
of
water, and they don't make
Yeah.
Majmul Bahrain, the
They-
meeting
yeah, they
point
don't-
of the two seas.
Yeah. seas. So basically, in the sea, you can go and see. They look different. The temperatures are
You can go and
different.
see.
The density, so, these barriers are able to be built if God wills it. That is.
I'm not sure if that's a miracle though. With respect, Max, because you could put oil into water, and it probably, or any type of
The
cooking
thing
oil
is,
or
the
something.
sea came back and it covered the well, Ramses, was it Ramses' soldiers, because as they were following them behind, the sea collapsed back onto the actual
No,
the
but
rest.
did the sea lessen? Did Moses literally walk? Does walking mean going through? Did they swim through? What really happened out there? There's not that much clarity if you really think about it.
Reeds generally grow in quite shallow water, so I imagine it was a
Marshland.
bit like you've got those like walkways where there's certain times you can't walk on them. I've forgotten what their name are.
When the
does anyone
tide's out, I know what you mean. I can't think of the word either, but yeah, they go with the
something similar
tide,
to
right?
that? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, maybe something similar to that.
Yeah, and with all
Yeah,
these
so
religious
good
books,
point.
isn't the real message in it the morals and the teachings of how you should
It's the
treat other
10
people?
Commandments.
Not whether something magic happened at the time. You know, David Blaine can do magic. Doesn't mean that he's going to teach you how to live a fulfilling life.
It's the 10
Well,
Commandments for all religion.
if David Blaine has some information that he can like set up a law or justice, or he can do something that will change the world forever, then even though he can do magic, I think he should be given that chance to let us change our life if it is for the better. If he believes that he can save lives and he can help people, and all the punishments for all the crimes that are done in the world, if he believes he has something, we've got to give him a chance, I think, anyway. And probably back then they gave the people chances, just like perhaps we would give people chances to do all this today.
The trick that ruined David Blaine for me was when he went into a prison and he bent the prison bars, and I just thought, come on, mate.
No, did he really?
Yeah. Yes.
That was staged. That's obviously staged.
Well, I mean, these people are stage magicians, aren't they? But they're still good performers.
Well, disagree. I think that the magic David Blaine does, that's impossible to
some of it,
repeat.
But this is a good magic trick has to be good enough to impress, but not too good to be unbelievable.
Yeah,
I think that's the perfect storm. Having dabbled in magic myself.
Now he's gone to another level now with all these celebrities, and he's burping out frogs, and he's actually you can think something and he'll know it, and we're going on.
He's made a couple of mistakes, by the way. He's made a couple of mistakes live. He's made live mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know any of them off the top?
There was a couple of card mistakes he made. If you just Google David Blaine making card, and it'll come up on YouTube.
He pulled out the wrong kind of rabbit from a hat. The gentlemen.
Oh, that's interesting, by the way. Cape
Verde limit. Yeah, final fact of the day: Cape Verde, sal (brackets salt), is a place where you can also salt. Cape Verde meaning the green Cape Verde, there, green. There
West Africa.
We're trying it. I think so. Right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. That's from Timmy Bobinson. Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight. Thank you, Dee, for joining us on the camera. Mac, as ever, 33X, whatever your name is. We'll do it all again soon. See you Friday night at 10 p.m.